So today we're gonna go through some Reddit things just because I'm pretty much stressed out. Even though it's the weekend, I fucked my whole day. I'm a little bit pissed. But anyway, gonna go through this share and hopefully gonna find some good information that I can share with you. I don't know, like a little bit about my day, or in terms of my day, I just was pacing around all the fucking time trying to do things. Not sleeping enough. I'd also look shitty. Let's fucking be honest. I don't know, like food's been just quite well, but that's actually kind of the only thing that I can say went quite well. Do I want to record now? Not really. The more I talk, the more I'm gonna get into. Afterwards, I'm gonna eat something. I'm looking forward to that. Gonna make myself something pretty good. Yeah, I'm just pissed. Can't, just because I'm so stressed out. And I'm just really unable to just lay down and rest a bit. I can't fucking do that. Like, my head says, no, you gotta have to do some shit. On one hand, it is of course something good, but on the other hand, it is like pretty fucked up. Hey, I don't think people realize how much strength it takes to pull your own self out of a dark place mentally. So if you've done that today or any day, I'm proud of you. Do not give up. It's an amazing and pretty kind message there. Can someone please give me guidance on how to fix my life? I've listed my issues down below. Poor executive functioning, feeling confused at most things, potential ADHD, hard time getting points across, I don't fully understand my own language, extreme school stress from procrastinating everything, stress of having very few friends, went through lots of trauma in the past, slow processing, difficulty expressing specific thoughts, emotional neglect from mom and dad, grew up in front of a laptop, communicating problems, needs lots of reassurance. Don't judge yourself. Don't put yourself under so much pressure. Everything is eventually, if you work on it, gonna find its place, but don't put yourself under so much pressure, and don't beat yourself up, and don't judge yourself. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's only gonna make things worse, and I'm just seeing that this person is doing that. What can I do just to really get well fast? A specific scheme that I think we all know from various things. Getting to some place very fast, quickly. No, it's gonna take time, and don't beat yourself up for being who you are at this point in time. Especially when you are able to change. It is something that I've seen that I'm doing as well, that I quite often judge myself, which in the end was really interesting to see. Like, it is something that I talk about and something that I advise people not to do, but still I find myself in that place of, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be better at this, I should be better at that, I should take more care of this and that and these and those. No. Just no. It is what it is, and I do my best, and as long as I do my best, there's nothing to put myself under pressure on, or there's no reason to judge myself for, or anything else. I'm doing my best, and my best is everything that I can fucking do. And so it is for you the case as well. Epictetus, if that is even your real name, can't you just have an original thought for once? Confidently incorrect. This review of a translation of a 2,000-year-old philosopher's work. Well, I'm actually not going to go through that. It's just ranting about a rant, and I don't see any particular reasoning talking about that. Discussion. I made a series of changes over the last year that helped me start exercising and lose weight. Most of it was mental, so here is what worked for me. I'm 37 and motivation has never been easy for me. Left to my own devices for the most part, I'd rather do nothing than something. However, my increasing weight was beginning to be an issue for me, and I knew I needed to address it. I know that exercise programs aren't allowed here, so I'll just say that r/C25k was helpful for a lazy scalp like me. Here's the mental stuff that got me where I needed to be to start. This isn't too much in chronological order, but it is an assortment of things that got me where I needed to be to start making changes. So let's see. I assume it's rather long, and yes, it is rather long. And yeah, let's see if these are good things. I had already spent a lot of time dealing with negative stuff in my life. Unhealthy patterns picked up in childhood, trauma from an abusive relationship, depression from ending the abusive relationship, and more. I'm not perfectly mentally healthy, but I'm neurotypical and even kneeled now for the most part. I worked in customer service and tech support, and I noticed how many people I helped that weren't very old, in their 40s and 50s even, who were both very overweight and not very mentally active. I'm not saying they were stupid, but they didn't have any mental activity going on when I tried to explain stuff to them, and they had clearly let themselves go. I began to realize that if I didn't make some changes, I was afraid I could end up like that. And yes, I get that there are many reasons people can be overweight. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I was genuinely afraid of ending up like that. Which I can understand, like not being in shape and also not being in shape like mentally as well. It's a double no. Don't fucking do that. Here and there, I began to learn about how expensive and difficult it is to be overweight. I learned how expensive insulin can be. I learned about CPAP machines and how hard it can be to get one and pay for it. I learned about how weight correlates with negative outcomes for COVID-19. I saw the weight-related issues my older relatives were having. Yeah, definitely the fucking case, you know? If you're overweight, there's going to be so many issues. There's going to be so incredibly many issues, especially when it is, well, not especially, but also concerning your heart. You know, your heart has to pump so fucking hard. It's not good. It's not good long term. You're not going to live long. Of course, there's people that are living relatively long, even though they're overweight, blah, 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 blah. But there's always going to be people that are an exception. But in general, it is not healthy, and it is not good for your heart and your overall system. I calculated my BMI, and at 260 pounds and 6 feet tall, I wasn't just fat, I was obese. This wasn't terribly surprising, as I had spent several years eating fast food twice a day. That said, I didn't feel like I was gross or huge, but I didn't feel great knowing I was in that category. The BMI is such a thing. If you're relatively muscular, the BMI is one of the just dumbest metrics to go for, because yeah, you are weighing 260 pounds, but if 180 pounds of that is fucking muscle, guess what? You're not that unhealthy. Of course, I mean, by using steroids and actually going over the top of what your body can actually hold in terms of muscle mass, it is, of course, not going to be that healthy, you know, just because you're also going to have some issues with, athleticism, if this isn't just an important fact for you, important part for you, and or stretching and being able to reach certain body parts and whatnot. Like, if you're very lean, then it's always going to be better in most life situations, normal life situations. Let's put it like that, because of course you're probably not going to be that powerful. You're not going to have the strength, I think, of a strong man that is weighing a lot, but also having a lot of muscle, and so on. But just a side note, I hate the BMI. It's a little bit overdone, because my BMI is also like, I think it's fine, but if I wouldn't be working out, then I think I would just be, I don't know, underweight even, I guess. Well, I don't know, never mind. I developed health issues of my own: indigestion, acid reflux, and undiagnosed GERD or GERD. I couldn't sleep through the night because stuff kept trying to come up my esophagus. I'd wake up in the middle of the night to vomit several times a week. I developed idiopathic chronic hives for a year and a half. I had huge itchy red blotches all over my body. I saw doctors who couldn't find a cause, but 7 pills a day kept the hives down, and I ate berry tums like candy. I developed a basic plan. If I can eat better, I can sleep better. If I can sleep better, I can think better. If I can think better, I can choose better. If I can choose better, I can start to be healthy. I began by cutting back fast food and soda and joined r/slow cooking, the easiest of all cooking styles and delicious. That was a start. Yeah, I do want to point out that if you think that going from unhealthy eating to healthy eating means that you're just only going to eat salads and or that you're always going to be hungry and whatnot, no, it's definitely not the fucking case. If you know how to cook, you can cut thousands of calories but still being so incredibly full. For example, as I've actually looked up yesterday, cabbage is having 26 calories per 100 grams. 100 grams of fucking cabbage. Eat that for 26 fucking calories or 36, something like that. And let's just think about it. Like, if you're eating 500, is it 500? Well, around 500 grams of fucking cabbage, you're gonna have, I don't know, 150 calories or something, which is quite nothing. And a kilo of it being 350 calories. You can eat so much fucking cabbage a day if you think about it. It's insane. And also other green stuff like broccoli and whatnot. And if you're able to prepare it in a nice way, it's also gonna taste pretty good, you know, without adding a lot of just fats, of course. But yeah, you know, eating healthy really is not about being hungry. And also just cutting down calories doesn't mean being hungry all the time as well. It is eating the right food. It is eating high volume food and low calorie food. Of course, there's also healthy food that's very high calorie dense, which means, for example, nuts. Nuts are fucking high in calories, you know, because of the fats and whatnot. But of course, they are very nutritious. So yeah, you know, just because, also a side note, just because something is healthy doesn't mean that you are not going to gain weight from it or because of it. Just something also to consider and think about and keep in mind. I reframed the idea of weight loss from being based in shame and guilt to being based in self-care and positivity. I went from your weight is an outward expression of your inner laziness and lack of self-control, you lazy garbage human, to you deserve to have a healthy, strong body that will let you spend more time with friends and family in your late years. I also stopped thinking about how it was better to do nothing than something and started thinking about how it was better to get outside and do something than stay inside and do nothing. Thinking about running was always worse than actually running. I don't know. I think that when you're obese, running is not the best sport you can do. I would rather, what means rather? It depends on your preferences as well. But I think biking might be a bit better, you know, just because it's a little bit easier on the joints, especially when you're so heavy. It's not going to be that good for the joints. But on the other hand, resistance training is going to be the best thing, because the more muscle you have in your overall body, the more calories you're going to burn just automatically, you know, by just actually doing nothing, because muscles take up calories and energy and whatnot. So just also a side note. Now, realistically, everything really changed for me when the pandemic started, and I, instead of spending 2 hours a day commuting, I was able to work from home. That cut out both the temptation to get fast food, soda, and gas station junk food, and it gave me time to start exercising. I began by walking a route around my neighborhood, which then turned into the couch to 5K program I mentioned above. I'm not trying to talk too much about that, since this isn't an exercise plan ZUP. But doing that and sticking with it has given me great success. Since starting walking in May, I've lost 40 pounds and just this week crossed the line from obese to overweight at 220 pounds. I ran about 2.5 miles every day on my lunch break, and I can run a 5K in 35 to 40 minutes. I'm probably not able to do so, by the way. My days off, and I generally enjoy doing it. What? And can run a 5K on my days off. From work, I guess. I have not modified my diet beyond sticking with home-cooked meals and no soda. I still eat desserts and snacks, but do lean more towards apples and bananas instead of chips or cookies. So this is my story of success and the mental steps that I took to get me going. I hope at least something in here has resonated with you that can help you with your building blocks towards success. I think it is actually pretty amazing, but I'm just seeing the first comment is by the moderators. Hi there. Get Motivated has a few friendly Discord server, and it's just I thought person gets fucked in the ass for just linking something or whatnot, which I don't want to say that is often the case, but you know, sometimes it is what it is. One last. I turned 23 today and made sure as few people knew as possible. How long is it? Because I'm actually quite interested in that. Well, I'm gonna read it. For context, I'm 23-year-old today, and visually birthdays meant a whole deal to me, which is why, as a challenge to myself, I've removed my birthday from all social media, including LinkedIn. As a kid, I remember I always felt disappointed about how my birthday went. Didn't feel special enough, had cringy Facebook posts when I was 12-ish saying things like, tomorrow is my birthday, LMAO. Years of disappointment when it came to my birthday, I came to realize that the problem wasn't the situation, but my perception of the situation. That is not to say that people didn't disappoint me. With my ex on her birthday, I made sure I conveyed how important that day was for me, with gifts, time spent, my words to her, etc. And she couldn't even do a quarter of all of that for me, and I don't blame her, because she isn't the affectionate and expressive type. She couldn't even do that for her mom. Plus, they say exes are exes for a reason, right? I made it sound like I broke up with her, but that wasn't the case. Though in hindsight, I'm glad she did. I'm the funny guy, the clown of any group I'm part of, and being told that I should try stand-up comedy, but hardly anyone knows that this humor has developed as a defense mechanism from always having an innate sadness. Maybe it's been a generic predisposition. I objectively have everything. I objectively have everything. A family I love more than life itself, and a couple of close friends, but I am still not passing the vibe check, but I'm working towards it. I used to look at people celebrating their friends' birthdays with loads of stories on Instagram, and I was always jealous. I wanted the whole she-bag too, so this year I completely toppled my own expectations, and so far I've cut a cake with my family, got wishes from them, got a wish from one friend and another knows since he's been pointing it out for a week, but hasn't wished, maybe because I said I just want peace and quiet and will be chilling at home on my birthday to him. Okay, now it looks like this has nothing to do with stoicism, but stoicism is my major reason for doing this. It is to show myself that at the end of the day, I only need myself. I have to be a better friend to myself. And as Seneca said, expectations are the greatest impediment to living. I have curbed my expectations of being celebrated on my birthday. Snapchat has harassed me every day to put a birthday icon on my Bitmoji or something, but I didn't give in. I'm really proud of myself. If you desire something outside your control, you are bound to be disappointed. Epictetus, so far this is one of the best cake days I've ever had. IRL, in real life, I made it a me day, smoked copious amounts of weed, had a couple of beers, ate good food. I believe I'll be okay. Amor fati. I don't know if this is I don't know if it is a joke. It's also not that long form. Like it's fine. First, happy birthday, mine. It was interesting reading this because I started doing the same thing a few years ago. I am 20, by removing my birthday from all social media, which has all since deleted entirely. Blah 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 blah. It is, in my opinion, a day best enjoyed within the company of oneself. If you just do the things you want to do and have fun on your own, keep pushing forward and take care of yourself. And yeah, with that being said, I'm also going to end the episode. So I wish you the best health of happiness and all success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy basically means just being a nice person, then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. 3 other things that I want to give you are why are you here, what I try and change, and what is bothering you the most. These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose, maybe in business, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. One last idea that I'm having you is, what could you essentially say to another person that's indeed going to change their life? Because I totally believe that we all can say something and we all can communicate something that's indeed going to change somebody's life. That being said, bye-bye. I wish you the best.